Hello everybody, my name is Jagiero and welcome back to the Afterlife. In the last episode I built this lovely prison tower. Yeah, this ruined prison tower with all the gibbets. Did you pronounce it gibbets or is it like gibbets? I don't know, but that's what they are, so there. And since then, I've done a little bit of work around the place. So as you can see, I've just put in this ruined strut for part of a bridge that's broken off here. And that would link to a building here that we're going to build today. And I've done another one on this side as well. So essentially, we do have four corners sort of ready to go of the abbey, which is beautiful. We are going to finish off each corner today. Right this episode. I know, exciting. This beacon beam here is going down to my strip mine down there. Now, I've had a little bit of an update to the strip mine situation, but first, let me head over to this hole in the mountain here. I'm fine. I've dug out a little room here, as you can see. And this in the middle, okay, as you can see here, is a moss generator. And it's working beautifully. See, because for a lot of the builds in the bay and the underwater sections, I've used a lot. I'm in a waterhole. I've used a lot of mossy cobblestone and mossy stone bricks, and for that, I need moss to make them. So I've made a moss machine at last because I was like farming all this manually, and it was just taking me forever. Okay, but over here you can see on the sides I've got this lovely little. What do you call it? Sugarcane setup. I was stalling there to remember what the word is. This sugarcane farm on each of these three walls here, just because I was running a bit low. In fact, you can see I've only got 12 rockets left, but that's what I'm using it for. So now I have the mob farm to get gunpowder and the sugarcane farms to get the paper, which is excellent. But as I mentioned, the situation down in the strip mine down here has changed. So if I just take you all the way down. I'm scared every time. Okay, so previously I mentioned in the last episode that we have a deep slate insta-mining data pack or mod pack on the server so that we can insta-mine all this deep slate. And then I got a beacon for it, and then it didn't work. The insta-mining did not work. And it turns out it was actually an issue with multi-MC, which is the instance launcher that I use, and it wasn't writing a file correctly. So that was a shame. But now I've got the wrong pick. But now, look at that. Oh, it's glorious. Okay, so that's great. I've been using this a lot to get a whole bunch of deep slate now. So finally, when, the build is coming towards completion, I finally have an excellent way to get a lot of deep slate. But better late than never. This tree is right in my way. Speaking of better late than never, I apologise for the delay between episodes. I actually mentioned previously that I'm back on the video grind, and then I had things that were in my way. So unfortunately, I wasn't. But we're here today to finish off this build. Essentially, this main section of the build is going to be completed by the end of today's episode. So I've got a thing to do here, which is the corner of these four sections, and then we're going to put something in the middle as well. Very exciting. Okay, so I'm just going to gather up a whole bunch of stuff. I'm just going to make sure I've got everything ready here. I don't think I'm quite finished. We're just going to gather up a bunch more resources and then get to building. Right then, ladies and germs, what am I building in this corner of the abbey? Well, I'm actually going to build up some sort of really ruined structure. Something that looks like it was part of the overall abbey but has just crumbled and fallen away into the bay below. So that's what I'm going for here. You may have noticed that I haven't mentioned anything about the 1.20 Minecraft update, which came out quite a while ago now, and that is because we have still not updated the server. Now, there are various reasons for this that I won't get into right now, but I know plenty of you will be wanting to see some sort of that juicy update goodness on the channel, and happy to say that you will be doing very soon. I've got plenty of projects in mind separate from the Afterlife server. I just need to think about how I'm going to present them going forward. Luckily, the lack of updates won't affect this build at all, and I'll be able to finish it all up very soon. So there we have the ruined corner section of the Abbey. I originally did this much smaller and it just did not work very well at all. So then I started building it up a lot larger, and at one point I was kind of thinking, why not just build a non-ruined version of it? But I feel like it's okay. Okay, because it tells a bit of a story, okay? Because this is supposed to be, the entire thing is supposed to be like slightly ruined. Of course, most of the bridges are broken and things like that. And I just wanted at least one of the sections to be completely ruined. I'm using hand gestures right now and you can't even see them. Why am I doing that? I don't know. That's how my brain's working. Where was I? So, it tells a bit of a story. And I was thinking, like, why would this section be more ruined than the rest? And then I came up with something. You may remember my slight obsession with digging up a whole bunch of skulk. Well, there were consequences of that. Obviously, a bunch of tentacles started appearing throughout the place. Now, of course, I've definitely stopped digging up the skulk. Honestly, I don't think about it every minute of every day. It doesn't infest my thoughts. Where was I? I'm fine. Well, you see, maybe digging up all that skulk has had even further unintended consequences. So there we have it, an actual reason for this building in the corner here being completely ruined. Let's go get a better view of it using the lovely FreeCam mod. Don't jump off the edge while I'm gone, please. Thank you. So if we just zoom around here, you can see the big tentacle sticking through the middle, like growing through the middle and then wrapping around. I'm actually really enjoying doing these. If you want to know how I make these, I hop into create a creative world, and then there's a tool you can use in World Edit called, well, you change the selection to a convex selection, which allows you to add more points. So I just sort of build a basic skinny shape with a few blocks, link them all up using the selection tool with the convex version of it, and then use the curve tool, which is a really great tool. And you can add it basically allows you to add a curve in the direction of where you've clicked with the convex things using the World Edit tool, the selection tool. I have explained that really terribly. Don't follow my advice anyway, because I'm not actually that great at it. So there. Okay, so we have this growing through here, and that's the reason that this whole place has been ruined. But this whole place is ruined already, right? It's like falling apart already. Yeah? So if this is ruined by this, but it's already ruined, and I conjured this, it doesn't make sense. And like a timeline, it's all a bit weird. It's all a bit wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff. Doctor Who reference. I don't even watch Doctor Who. Anyway, what if the people of this abbey were doing some sort of crazy stuff with time? Maybe doing some sort of sorcery with time. Maybe something that we're going to put in the center. So originally the centerpiece of this whole build was supposed to be something like a stone summoning circle with a swirly red vortex made of glass in the middle of it. The idea being that the monks here in the abbey would all stand around the circle chanting to their Icarus deity in order to bring it forth into our material realm, and that maybe the end result of the summoning was what ruined the abbey and caused the inhabitants to flee. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it work in the space that I have here. To get the effect looking right, I'd need to do it on a much larger scale. So I shelved that idea for the future and instead came up with this. Yes, so there we have it. I've built an hourglass in the center here, and I'm pretty proud of this, despite it not being originally what I wanted to have. You know, it kind of fits, I feel like. We've got like sort of blood pooling in the middle of it. In fact, let's go take a closer look using the lovely FreeCam mod. You can see it's not dripping all the way down. Like if it was actually sand, it would be like streaming down still. So that's sort of to signify that it's a bit thicker and goopy and slower dripping. Maybe? I don't know. I was playing around with different blocks to make it actually look like it was filled behind the glass, and you know, not many blocks look that great. Things like concrete and stuff, they just stuck out a bit too much, and in the end, concrete powder and red sand just seem to work fine for that. So that's what I've gone with. And as you can see, we've got these lovely chains holding it all together. Very nice, very nice. And on this side, the chain is broken off because of the ruins, because of this creature thing sticking through the middle of it. Yes, these ruins, by the way, I really like them, and I like walking through them, but they're actually quite dangerous because there's no lighting in there, so I found quite a lot of mobs in there, and I've already blown it up once, so yeah. Speaking of creatures growing up and around and twisting around, we've got this tentacle here wrapping around one of the support struts for the main abbey section here. And finally, get out of the way. Oh yeah, by the way, this goes all the way down to the bottom of the bay. And finally, I've got support struts for every leg underneath this main build. This is the first build I'd actually finished, but never actually finished because I hadn't had the support struts. Well, now I have. So there. Okay. So, I think the build is pretty much done? Question mark? Like, there are some things I originally wanted to add to it, I guess. I never did, like, the iron farm that I wanted to add, and, like, villagers and stuff like that. But in the end, I didn't really need it. And villagers are actually a bit of a pain to get because there's none in, like, I think a few thousand blocks that I've found so far, which is not so great. It just means a bit more extra work. You know, I could have done it, but I just found it wasn't really that necessary. Originally, my plan was to have like a bunch of librarian villagers sort of wandering around the place and would see, you know, how long it took each of them to fall off into the bay. That would have been fun, I guess. Now, the hills and stuff on the side of the bay, they don't look so great, right? You know, there's a lot of work that I could do for there. I don't know whether I'm going to bother. The future of the server is a little bit up in the air at the moment because our admin is, he's AWOL, but put it that way, and we don't know really when things are going to be moving forward, so we don't know when the server is going to be updated or anything like that. So, yeah, I don't really know what's going to happen. But, you know, if I left this build here as it is, I think I'd be happy. You know, I think I'd be happy if this was the finish to it. Well, who knows? You know, I have talked previously about adding like a gate section across this sort of gap in the bay there, from the hills to the other side there. I think that would be quite cool. And then maybe like some sort of tower on the side here with like stairs and a bridge going up to link to this build here, maybe. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But like I said earlier, I do have some extra plans for stuff to do on the channel regarding the 1.20 updates in the very near future. So we've got that to do as well. By the way, I haven't lit this thing up, right, obviously, and it's just always skeletons here. It never seems to be any other mob. It's always skeletons. I have no idea why. How can I light this up? I suppose I could hide like a glowstone block under a carpet, maybe, and that would do it, right? Yeah, but regardless of what happens in the future on the server, I have had a ton of fun doing this build. I've learnt a lot, things about like gradients and textures and things like that. You know, it's been a bit of a learning curve, but I've really enjoyed the process. So I'm very happy with what I've managed to accomplish. And I'm very happy with what I've accomplished in today's episode. But that is it for today. So, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, leave a comment, and if you'd like to see more, click the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.